This is Eyewitness News on LA56 with live breaking news.
Breaking news, a motorcycle rider killed in a hit-and-run crash. This is Eyewitness News at 8 on LA56. I'm Colleen Sullivan.
And I'm David Ono. Air 7 HD is live over the scene in Montebello. This is at Washington Boulevard and Bluff Road. Police tell us the rider of that motorcycle at a tan four-door vehicle were traveling at a high rate of speed when the vehicle hit the motorcycle from behind, sending the rider into a pole. He died at the scene. Police are searching for the driver of the vehicle, and we'll bring you any new details as they come into the Eyewitness newsroom. In the meantime, chaos at a Washington State high school as a gunman opens fire at the cafeteria. 2 people, including the gunman, are dead. 4 others are wounded. And Eyewitness News reporter Leanne Suter is live in the Satellite Center with what we've learned about this gunman tonight. Leanne.
David, Jalen Freiberg was a popular high school football player, now an alleged murderer. Police say he opened fire inside his school's cafeteria, killing 1 student and injuring 4 others, including 2 of his own family members, before finally taking his own life.
He was just crowned freshman homecoming prince. Jalen Freiberg, an outgoing and well-known student. Tonight, as they gather to pray for the victims, those who knew Freiberg struggle to make sense of the violence.
I don't know, I have no clue, because he was fine the day before. He was being sassy as always and good.
I just got information of a possible shooting at the high school in the cafeteria.
The first 911 call came from someone inside Maryville's Pilchuck High School north of Seattle. Eyewitnesses say Freiberg opened fire in the school cafeteria. Students say he remained calm, staring down each victim as he unloaded his gun.
4 shots went off, and I thought it was firecrackers, and then everyone started ducking under the tables, and then 3 more went off, and everyone started screaming, "Run, it's a gun!"
When I fell over, I got up and there's just someone laying on the ground.
We have a total of 6 individuals that were involved. 2 are deceased. 1 is a male, he was the lone gunman, and 1 is a female.
3 of the injured are in critical condition with gunshot wounds to the head. As police swarm the campus, guns drawn, checking every door, students rush out with their hands up. For terrified parents and students, hugs and tears as they were reunited, retelling the terror.
Somebody was telling us that someone has a gun, someone has a gun, so we just ran into a classroom.
Police say the motive remains a mystery. Friends say Freiberg had just returned to school after reportedly being suspended for a fight and had recently broken up with his girlfriend, but no one saw any signs of trouble.
He was perfectly fine the day before. I remember talking to him. He seemed like the normal old, kid that we all knew.
Family members say that 2 of the wounded were Freiberg's own cousins. Now, authorities say the weapon used in the rampage was acquired legally. Live in the Satellite Center, Leanne Suter, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Leanne, thank you. Now to a deadly shooting in Northern California. 2 deputies are killed and a 3rd is wounded in a string of shootings. 34-year-old Marcelo Marquez is now in custody. Sacramento County Sheriff Scott Jones said the shooting spree started at 10:22 this morning near Arden Way at a Motel 6 parking lot in Sacramento. That's when Deputy Danny Oliver and his partner responded to a report of a suspicious vehicle. When they were heading to the car, the suspect opened fire.
The officers approached the vehicle. The person inside the vehicle fired several rounds at Officer Danny Oliver. At least one of those rounds struck Deputy Oliver in the forehead, which caused his death. The suspect went to a nearby neighborhood and attempted to carjack a vehicle. The owner of that vehicle did not fought back against the attempted carjacking and was himself shot in the head.
No word on that victim's condition tonight. The suspect then carjacked another vehicle before heading to the Auburn area. A short time later, the suspect shot 2 Placer County Sheriff's deputies. One of those deputies died. The other is expected to survive. The Placer County Sheriff's Department says that a woman who was seen with the suspect earlier in the day also in custody tonight. Authorities say they found a handgun in her purse.
Now to the latest on the Ebola scare. The governors of New Jersey and New York have ordered a mandatory 21-day quarantine of all medical workers and other arriving airline passengers who've had contact with Ebola patients. The move comes after a doctor returned to New York City after treating Ebola patients in Guinea fell ill with the virus. This as we learned that the 2 nurses infected while treating an Ebola victim in Dallas are now free of the virus. One of the nurses, Nina Pham, hugged President Obama in the Oval Office just hours after she was released from the hospital.
I join you in prayer now for the recovery of others, including my colleague and friend Amber Vinson and Dr. Craig Spencer.
Dr. Spencer is reportedly in stable condition. Back here at home, health workers announced today that they're actively tracking people who have come to LA County from Ebola-stricken areas. State health officials have also put together a list of hospitals that are best suited for treating cases of the disease. The list includes Ronald Reagan UCLA Medical Center and UC Irvine, among others. And a sick passenger on a flyaway bus who had recently been to Nigeria caused a scare this afternoon. However, it was quickly determined he did not have the Ebola virus. Today, LA County health officials revealed they are tracking residents who have recently returned from West Africa. So far, none of them have shown any symptoms. And for more, we're joined by Eyewitness News reporter Rob Hayes, who is live at the LA County Department of... Oh, I'm sorry, we don't have that story, but we'll continue to monitor this story and bring you the latest.
And the Ebola scare has about 20 local students and their families backing out of a group trip to Africa. Thousands of dollars have been raised, but with the trip called off, the families want a refund. But as Eyewitness News' Miriam Hernandez reports, the school is refusing and insisting the trip should go on.
For a child growing up in Watts, a chance of a lifetime. A trip to Senegal and the Gambia, organized by the Watts Learning Center.
We've never been out of the country before. To get our passports for the first time, my boys were excited.
Bridget Harper signed up to go with her 2 sons. Then, the news. The Ebola outbreak in Guinea. It is one of the Ebola hot zone countries and borders their destination country of Senegal. 24 parents and students signed up for the trip. Now, more than half have dropped out.
My 5-year-old Brendan and Dylan, 10 years old, I don't want to take that chance of the risk going over to West Africa and exposing them to this deadly virus.
To add to Harper's distress, a struggle to get a $1,500 deposit she put down with Nubian Tours, the travel agency that organizes the trips with Watts Learning Center. The rub for the agency, the participating parents, and the schools is that the CDC says Senegal is safe. No Ebola cases. The border with Guinea has been closed for weeks. No reason to cancel the trip. We spoke to the school's co-founders.
If we have information that justifies us stopping, fine.
I'm comfortable with this trip, as are some of our families.
They say they have no power to help Harper get her deposit back. Funds Harper wants so she can take her sons elsewhere during the holidays. We talked to Joe Cada of Nubian Tours.
How hard have you been working on this? How about losing sleep?
She says the money's gone to airlines in Africa, hotels, vendors. The latest word, a partial refund might be possible, but not until December.
And it's not easy to get money back from Africa, and I've got them to agree to do it.
The school says their international trips are invaluable to the youngsters. They are committed to taking this one as long as it is safe. Harper says she still wants to go, but not now.
When this Ebola, crisis is over, we still want to go to Africa. We still do. We have our passports ready. We're ready to go. But it's just, at this time, it's just not a good time.
Miriam Hernandez, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
And a meningitis scare at Orange County's John Wayne Airport today. A 2-year-old girl was quarantined after she fell ill while traveling on a WestJet flight from Vancouver. The child was transported to Children's Hospital in Orange County with a paramedic escort. Doctors tested her and determined she does not have meningitis. The plane was later released back to WestJet and will continue flying. And another San Diego County College student has been diagnosed with a meningitis-related illness. This time it's at Palomar College in San Marcos. Right now, health officials say they do not believe the case is connected to the death of San Diego State student Sarah Stelzer, who died from meningitis over the weekend. And they say this new patient did not come into close contact with a lot of other students as Stelzer did.
Well, we are looking forward to our weekend, and let's check in with meteorologist Jonathan Novak for a first look at our forecast. Hi, Jonathan.
Hey, Colleen. Hey, folks. Fantastic day today. Temperatures once again well above average. If you like the heat, you had it, but it's going to be going away soon enough. Today's highs, Chatsworth at 90, a lot of 90s around the area. Riverside, the hot spot at 94. And we had upper 80s in downtown Los Angeles. Right now in Riverside, it is 69, so you've cooled down quite a bit from this afternoon's highs. 72 in downtown Los Angeles. Other numbers around the area tonight, we haven't had that cold front that we've been talking about all week show up yet. but it's going to soon enough. For now, we're still very warm in Ontario and Burbank. We're at 78. Evening temperatures, that's very warm for this time of year, of course. 75 in Santa Clarita, 75 in Eyes. Tomorrow morning, mid to late morning, we start seeing the effects of the front, and here you can see it in your day planner. You'll wake up to about 62, some clouds at the coast. Slow to warm, though. Cooler air filtering in, 74 by noon. Only 74. Temperatures are dropping quite a bit, about 10 degrees or so for tomorrow. I'll tell you about the rest of the weekend coming up in your 7-day.
All right, Jonathan, thank you.
Yep.
Tonight we're learning more about a suspect pursuit that ended with a scuffle with sheriff deputies. Deputies were pursuing a driver wanted for suspicion of domestic violence. The driver evaded deputies but then crashed his vehicle after exiting the 110 freeway onto Figueroa Street. He tried and failed to carjack 3 separate vehicles before he was taken into custody. The man tried to fight back during the arrest but was restrained.
There's been an outpouring of support for the family of a 9-year-old girl shot and killed in front of her Anaheim home. The community came together today to hold a car wash to raise money for Zemenya Mesa's funeral. The 5th grader was shot Wednesday night while playing with her sisters and friends outside. The senseless act of violence has left friends, family, even complete strangers in mourning.
To lose a child is probably an unbelievable feeling.
I mean, I can't imagine what they're going through. I have nieces that age, and it's very sad.
Just last night, more than 300 people showed up for a community meeting organized by the police department. Many people are asking for more police presence on the streets. They say the gang violence is a serious safety issue for the children. Meantime, the police chief is asking for eyewitnesses to come forward. And if you have any information, you're urged to call Orange County Crime Stoppers at 855-TIP-OCCS.
All fraternity and sorority pledging activities have been suspended at Cal State Northridge. According to the university's newspaper, the move follows a possible hazing incident involving the Phi Kappa Alpha fraternity. The fraternity has been suspended by the university pending an investigation. This comes just a few months after 19-year-old student Armando Villa, a fraternity pledge, died during a mandatory fraternity hike. The university concluded his death was a hazing incident. The school says pledges can still be inducted, but no further pledge activity will be allowed.
Well, you've probably seen the video. A hatchet-wielding man goes on the attack against police officers in New York City. And tonight, what we're learning about him, including his Southern California connection.
Plus, demonstrators literally hit the streets to protest a local school district's decision to put rifles in the hands of school police.
And we showed you the twister last night. Tonight, see the damage from a violent Washington State tornado.
Tonight, authorities say a man wielding a hatchet targeting police was intending on committing an act of terror. And we've learned the 32-year-old man had a Southern California connection, having been convicted of crimes in Ventura County and was once stationed at Naval Base Ventura County. ABC's Brian Ross reports on the suspect's recent conversion to Islam and what he was reading hours before the attack.
It was an act of terror, 7 seconds in broad daylight, as the man swinging the hatchet moved in on his targets. 2 uniformed New York police officers hit, one critically injured with his skull fractured, before the attacker was shot dead.
I'm very comfortable this was a terrorist attack, certainly.
Today, police said 32-year-old Zale Thompson was a recent convert to Islam, a loner who had become self-radicalized, following terror groups online, including Al-Qaeda and ISIS, viewing beheadings, the White House fence jumper, and this week, the shootings in Canada as he made his own plans.
It appears that this is something he has been thinking about for some time and thinking about with more intensity in recent days.
In the last month, leaders of ISIS have been online urging so-called lone wolves to attack uniformed police and military in the U.S. and its allies. One message read, "Knocking off a police, military, or any other law enforcement officer sends a chilling message to the so-called civilians and fills their hearts with consternation."
Terror is theater, and obviously they're trying to create and instill fear, and unfortunately, I think we're going to see more of it.
And again, that was ABC's Brian Ross. He also reports that some federal authorities think it's too soon and quite a stretch to call the hatchet man in New York a terrorist. But tonight, New York City police officers are being told they must patrol in pairs, and U.S. military personnel in Canada are being told not to wear their uniforms off-duty.
Longview, Washington is tallying the damage today from a rare tornado. The tornado hit yesterday, tearing off roofs, breaking windows, and uprooting trees. Surveillance video from inside a store show the scary moments when the twister grabbed a roof from another building and hurled it into the front of the store. Another man says the tornado came right through his yard.
And next thing I know, I started to step back a little bit behind the door, and the trampoline flew through the window. It was here, right where I was, and sucked it back out.
No one was hurt in the tornado. Tornadoes are rare in the Pacific Northwest because the Pacific Ocean generally prevents severe temperature changes.
Rain up there right now. Rain up in the Northwest right now for the front that's going to affect our weather.
Really?
If you thought it was, yeah, well, that's how it works. We got weather today. It was fantastic, though. You wouldn't think it was going to change that rapidly, but we have a 10 to 15 degree drop in temperatures from today till tomorrow, folks.
Nice.
I know. If you like the cooler weather, well, we've got fall back in full effect. It took a break. It was on a business trip this week, maybe. I don't know. 5 Meganopolis 7000 HD. That's just what goes on in my head, folks. Few showers up in around Seattle. Otherwise, that front that was drifting around up in the northwestern states went north just a little bit today, and now it's going to make its move finally as we go in through tomorrow and Sunday, and we'll look at it in just a moment. Let me recap what we had today, though. 88 in downtown. Wow, 10 degrees above the average of 78. We're not even going to reach 78 tomorrow, folks. 78 right now in Burbank. Nice warm evening, mild evening, if you will. 73 in Palmdale and 53 cool in Big Bear. 84 Palm Springs. These are current temperatures. 74 in Fullerton. Santa Ana, good evening. It is 74 for you as well as Santa Clarita. Ojai, 67 checking in as your current temperature. Here you go. Big area low pressure up way up to the north and northwest of us with a front extending from it. That front's going to roll through for tomorrow. It's going to bring rain north of us, but we're not going to see any rain from this system in our area. But we will see clouds and we will see the temperatures drop as those winds change and we get some of that cooler air filtering in. Again, rain right now still up in the Pacific Northwest. And you'll see in the future rainfall. I'll start you tonight. I'll head you through tomorrow. The rain gets up around San Francisco, up through down through the Central Coast, and then that front will wash out west of us. So we don't see the showers kick up, but you notice by Saturday, 8 p.m., plenty of cloud cover, the cooler air already moving in, and we'll see temperatures drop tomorrow, and then we'll see them drop even more on Sunday, and look at that, even some snow potentially up in the High Sierra. Skies start clearing later on Sunday and into Monday, as you see right there in that forecast, as high pressure builds back in. So for tomorrow, temperatures cooling off, below average. You just saw 78 is our average in Los Angeles. We're going with 77. That's what I have for your forecasted high for tomorrow. Lucky Sevens, Anaheim, and Glendale and Covina. The IE, a huge drop. Riverside was in the mid-90s today, lower 80s for tomorrow's highs. huge drop in temperatures like that, folks. It's going to be a cold or cool one on Saturday. I'd say kind of cold on Sunday morning, 59. Wake you up in Los Angeles, only reaching 75. Morning clouds, slowly building in that heat from Monday to Tuesday. We're back into the mid-80s by next Wednesday and Thursday, and then Halloween. Right now, thumbs up, looking good. Valley's IE, 78 tomorrow, down at the mid-70s on Sunday and Monday, and you're not into the 80s again until Tuesday on. It looks really cool for this weekend with a few clouds on Sunday. The mountains, cold, waking up 30 degrees on Sunday morning, only hitting 58 for a high on Sunday and Monday, and then the lower 70s on Sunday and Monday for the high desert after one more day in the upper 70s. More weather coming up in a few minutes. Back to the desk.
All right, Jonathan, thank you.
Welcome.
Tonight, a debate over assault rifles at schools. Eyewitness News reporter Jory Rand reports from Compton, where protesters took to the streets.
This was the intersection of Rosecrans and Wilmington in Compton this afternoon, shut down by protesters with the group Black Lives Matter, upset that the Compton School District voted to allow their police officers to bring assault rifles onto school campuses.
What we're doing is a die-in. We want to give people a very vivid image of what it looks like when black and brown bodies are on the ground.
Compton School District and Police Chief William Wu, they made a unanimous decision without allowing any feedback from parents to say it's okay to put AR-15s, which are military assault rifles, into schools with children.
Chief Wu issued a statement today in response to the protests, saying these rifles give us greater flexibility in dealing with a person with bad intent who comes onto any of our campuses. The officers will keep the rifles in the trunks of their cars unless they are needed. It should also be pointed out that many other community and school law enforcement departments already have these weapons. But that did little to settle fears here today, even with today's school shooting in Washington State.
I would never worry about a school shooting in Compton. Have you ever heard of a school shooting in Compton?
Martha Camacho Rodriguez is a special education teacher in the Compton School District. She worries about her students, some of whom, when they have emotional outbursts, can appear physically threatening.
No student is carrying a sign that says, "I have a disability," and so they would be an easy target.
But the general sense of the crowd is that there is just no need for the rifles.
I'm a student at Cal State LA, but I'm a product of the Compton Unified School District. Came up, made me what I am, and we got good kids, man. I'm living proof. My peers are living proof, and we didn't need no AR-15s.
Jory Rand, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Those protesters blocked the intersection for just 2 minutes. Sheriff deputies responded and asked the demonstrators to stay on the sidewalk for the rest of the protest.
Up next, a Southern California family sets off on a 10-year round-the-world sailing adventure. Why some are criticizing this adventure.
Plus, spectacular video, a record-setting skydive from the edge of space.
And people in a Hawaiian town set to scramble as lava creeps steadily closer to their homes. Got to watch this one. An executive at Google set numerous skydiving records today when he jumped from the edge of outer space. Alan Eustace broke the sound barrier as he fell from an altitude of nearly 136,000 feet. That broke the record set by daredevil Felix Baumgartner just 2 years ago. Today, it took Eustace over 2 hours to get up there in a balloon before beginning his 800-mile-an-hour free fall. The jump was part of the company's efforts to develop a new type of spacesuit.
Wow. It's bon voyage for one Southern California family off on a decade-long voyage around the world. Nathan and Cindy Walter of Camarillo and their 2-year-old daughter Grace set sail Sunday on a 38-foot sailboat from the Channel Islands Harbor to San Diego before they continued down the Mexico coast. They plan to be in Cindy's native Belgium in 6 months when she gives birth to their second child. Back in April, another California family had to be rescued by the National Guard after being stranded at sea with a sick child. The Walters say they are aware of the criticism and danger, but many families sail with children.
We're updating the evening's top stories next at 8:30, including the latest on 2 deadly shooting rampages making national headlines.
Plus, with the Ebola scare on many people's minds, how the experts say we should deal with fear over the deadly disease.
And the day after an 11-year-old boy was killed by a hit-and-run driver, members of a community are demanding change. A full report next tonight when it's news at 8:30.
Live from ABC7, this is Eyewitness News at 8:30 p.m. on LA56.
Our top story at 8:30. Officials say 2 sheriff's deputies have died after being shot by a man suspected in 4 separate shootings. I'm Colleen Sullivan.
I'm David Ono. This is Eyewitness News at 8:30 in LA56. A 3rd deputy was shot in the arm but is expected to survive. The suspected gunman, 34-year-old Marcelo Marquez, was arrested at a home about 30 miles northwest of Sacramento after going on a shooting spree that lasted several hours today. An armed woman was also taken into custody. No word yet on a motive for the shootings.
In Washington State, a vigil tonight for the victims of a school shooting. Government officials have identified the student who opened fire in a high school cafeteria, killing 1 person and injuring several others. Jalen Freiberg then turned the gun on himself. 2 of the victims are related to the shooter. It's unclear what led up to the shooting, but friends say Freiberg had recently returned to school after reportedly being suspended for a fight and had recently broke up with his girlfriend.
In New York and New Jersey, healthcare workers and anyone coming from West Africa will be quarantined for 21 days because of the Ebola scare. The move comes after a doctor who returned to New York City after treating Ebola patients in Guinea fell ill with the virus. This as we learned that the 2 nurses infected while treating an Ebola victim in Dallas are now free of the virus. Back here in L.A., health officials say they're actively tracking people who have come to L.A. County from Ebola-stricken areas. State health officials have also put together a list of hospitals that are best suited for treating the disease.
With only a few known cases of Ebola in the U.S., concern over the virus may seem to be overblown. Nevertheless, the deadly disease, which has killed thousands in West Africa, has still managed to cause fear here at home. Eyewitness News reporter Carlos Granda spoke to a health expert who explains fear in this case is a normal reaction.
We see signs like these and images like these, and it makes people nervous.
I'm not personally afraid, but it did kind of make me nervous when I went to my doctor yesterday, and there's a big sign in the waiting room about Ebola, and if you had a fever, and I thought, wow, that's kind of a little bit closer to home than I thought.
Experts say it's normal because people don't fully understand the disease. It makes us act more emotionally than rationally.
In order to live in any environment, we have to have some information about it. Things that are potential threats that we do not have any information are more likely to generate these kinds of behaviors that we consider to be irrational.
Lawrence Palinkas is an expert on issues of mental health and stress. He says there is good fear, such as a roller coaster or a haunted house. It's a controlled fear that only lasts for a short while and can benefit our body. The other side is the bad fear. The chances are much greater that the stress will make you sick rather than Ebola.
Prolonged chronic stress, the kind of stress that generates physiological reactions that lead to heart disease, lead to other chronic illnesses.
We ask people how worried are they about the Ebola virus. Everyone says they're concerned, but not to the point they might change their lifestyle.
But I think it's good that it's in the limelight right now, and I think it's something that needs to be addressed. I don't think that everybody should panic. I think that you can get hit by a car. I mean, you know, anything's possible.
Palinka says in this day of information overload, the way to ease the fear and stress is to learn more about what you're afraid of.
Reduce that anxiety by providing more accurate information and helping to dissipate or eliminate misinformation.
In downtown Los Angeles, I'm Carlos Granda, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
We're learning about a possible plea deal in the beating death of an 8-year-old Palmdale boy. Pearl Fernandez and her boyfriend, Isaro Aguirre, are accused in the 2013 death of Gabriel Fernandez. The boy suffered burns, a fractured skull, and broken ribs. The next court date for the couple is Thursday. According to a civil attorney for the child's grandfather, the plea deal and sentencing will be entered then. No word yet on what that deal will include. And the search is on for a man who attacked a woman jogging in a remote area of Silver Lake near Victor Valley. Investigators say the woman was on a shadow mountain road near River's Edge yesterday morning when she was grabbed from behind and then pushed to the ground. She told deputies that she felt something sharp against her cheek. The suspect ran off, and the woman ran to a neighbor's to call for help. She received a minor cut but was not seriously hurt.
A former teacher at J. Sarah Catholic High School has been sentenced to prison for having a sexual relationship with a 14-year-old girl. 40-year-old Ricardo Aldana was convicted of 3 counts of lewd acts with a child. Aldana was sentenced to 3 years and 4 months in prison. He will also be required to register as a sex offender for the rest of his life. Aldana was a teacher at San Juan Capistrano School for 7 years. He taught Spanish and coached boys soccer and girls volleyball.
Heartbreak after a young child is killed by a hit-and-run driver in Upland. Today, there are calls to make that intersection where he died safer. Inland Empire Bureau Chief Rob McMillan has details on what the boy's family and other parents want to see.
As school let out in the city of Upland this afternoon, people took to the streets.
What do we want? Justice! What do we need?
A march by parents and children who don't want to see another tragedy like this one again. 11-year-old Isaiah Shelton Dobine was killed by a hit-and-run driver while walking to school.
It's chilling. I mean, I've been like holding back tears all morning.
He would do good in school. He was a good friend.
But a loss for words. My heart is full.
Tamara Strong is the victim's grandmother.
This could be anyone's child or grandchild or brother, and it's senseless.
Not only is she and others out here to grieve, but to call for change. They want more police out here, speed bumps in some places, and at the very least, more crossing guards.
Upland has money. We need policemen. We need more parents here with their kids.
Please slow down. There's children out here.
Resident Teresa Holden says just 10 minutes before we arrived here, there was an accident at this very location.
Just like that. Not paying attention, not keeping their eyes on the road.
Just as I was in the crosswalk, I heard it, and it happens, you know.
While the alleged driver in the tragedy, 25-year-old Jason Fair of Rancho Cucamonga, will likely face felony hit-and-run charges, people out here say everyone can learn from what happened.
Please slow down.
This can be any one of our children.
Pay attention while you're driving. Do not text and drive.
Let your children know they can't just walk. They have to look and see what's coming.
Rob McMillan, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
And Eyewitness News tried to contact city officials today, but so far no one has responded.
The Obama administration is turning up the heat on auto safety standards following a major airbag recall. Safety advocates now say as many as 25 million vehicles in the U.S. may be equipped with faulty airbags, which can inflate with too much force, blowing apart metal canisters and sending shards at the driver and passengers. The White House is now reviewing the safety culture of the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, which has been criticized for not acting aggressively enough. At least 4 deaths have been linked to the airbags.
A growing stream of molten lava is headed straight for a Hawaiian town. Thousands are preparing to evacuate. ABC's Clayton Sandell has more on the race against time.
Tonight, a powerful volcano that helped create the Big Island of Hawaii is now threatening thousands of people who live here. A river of red-hot lava quickly oozing the length of 6 football fields in just the last 2 days. You can see just below here, in these cracks, is actual molten lava. The flow erupted from the Kilauea volcano in June, traveling downhill 11 miles, now less than 1 mile from the small town of Pahoa.
It's really the geography that controls where this lava goes. Sometimes speeding up, sometimes it's slowing down, but it's always a threat.
For some of the 10,000 people affected, evacuations could be just days away. Road construction crews are racing to make sure they have a way out. The island is no stranger to Kilauea's power. It's been steadily erupting since 1983, wiping out nearly 200 homes in 1990. The volcano has been belching explosions of fiery lava ever since, and now shows no sign of cooling off. Clayton Sandell, ABC News, Pahoa, Hawaii.
Well, there goes Honey Boo Boo. That story next, and entertainment news.
Plus, Keanu Reeves is back on the big screen. Our entertainment guru, George Pinocchio, runs down all that's new in theaters.
Ooh, beautiful time lapse here, Malibu earlier today. Another really warm day, hot, mid-90s in some spots, but a big cool down in your 7-day forecast. Stick around.
That's a wrap for Honey Boo Boo. TLC has canceled its popular long-running reality series. Here Comes Honey Boo Boo follows child pageant star Alana Thompson and family. The network didn't give a reason but released a statement saying, quote, supporting the health and welfare of these remarkable children is our only priority. TMZ reported this week that Alana's mother was dating a convicted child molester. Mama June Shannon has since posted a video denying those allegations. An already filmed 5th season was set to start airing later this year.
Well, this weekend at the movies, Hollywood helps you get your Halloween fright on, and Keanu Reeves is back in action. Entertainment guru George Pinocchio runs down what's new in the big screen.
Keanu Reeves is back on the big screen in the action-filled thriller John Wick. He plays an ex-hitman who comes out of retirement to settle a score with some gangsters who took everything from him. And that everything includes his dog, a gift from his dying wife. John Wick is rated R. You can get your Halloween scares in a week early with the release of Ouija. Via the dark powers of the ancient spirit board, some friends summon the spirit of a friend who recently died. But now, will the living also start dying? The board says yes. Maybe it's safer to just play Monopoly. Ouija is rated PG-13 for disturbing and violent content, horror images, and mature themes.
Just life with my father must have been pretty bleak and miserable for her.
New and in limited release, Shailene Woodley stars in the drama White Bird in a Blizzard. She plays a teenager whose life is thrown into chaos. What was going on in that household?
There's a major twist at the end that I think people will leave sort of gasping at, as well as it's haunting. This movie's haunting. It's a young girl whose mother disappears, and she's left to fend for herself and survive.
Christopher Maloney plays her father in this R-rated mystery. Keira Knightley stars in the R-rated Laggies.
Hey, did you hear the one about the grown woman who started hanging out with a bunch of pubescent kids?
No, what?
No, I'd never heard of it before either.
Knightley plays a 20-something woman who has plenty of education under her belt, but hasn't quite learned how to be an adult. Her longtime boyfriend proposes, and the thought of that permanently sends her into a panic. A chance meeting with the teenager, played by Chloe Grace Moretz, leads to an unlikely friendship, first between the women, then with the teen's dad, played by Sam Rockwell. George Pinocchio, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Well, this weekend's here at last. Jonathan Novak has your complete forecast coming up next.
Plus in sports, the battle of two ranked teams tomorrow in Salt Lake, USC and Utah, with the Pac-12 South title still up for grabs.
At the South Carolina Aquarium in Low Country, they were carving a 120-pound pumpkin underwater. A big scary shark swam by. That was no problem, but then you see it, a sea turtle came up and tried to bite the pumpkin.
Oh, no.
The divers had to shoo the turtle away. We're not sure if the turtle bite was a hostile gesture or just,
curious.
He thought it was an intruder, or if the turtle wanted to eat some pumpkin. Maybe he was hoping there was a Halloween candy inside. I got a feeling he was just hungry.
I mean, yeah.
I'm going to try.
Always look for the sea turtles, too, when I'm at the aquarium. It's like, I would have loved to see that. You're always staring. They just kind of hide.
I just think it's, what do you expect? You're carving a pumpkin underwater.
Right.
It's like,
at the aquarium.
It's
never tasted one before, probably.
Yeah, it's probably not. It's highly, they don't tend to grow in the ocean. All right, we're on me now. We're talking about the weather, and you know what? Temperatures are going to drop a lot. Did you like the few days we had here of the warmer weather, guys?
I like it cooler.
You like a little cooler? All right, we're going to see a smile on David's face. We've got temperatures dropping about 10-plus degrees. Right now it is dry over the area, and we're looking at the live Mega Doppler 7000 HD because it shows very well the rain up to the north. Now, this rain was a little further south into portions of Northern California yesterday. This front was a stationary front, now lifting north. Why? I will show you in a moment, because a cold front or a low-pressure system with a front attached to it is moving in and changing everything. Today's highs, Northridge 90, 93 in both Fillmore and Ontario, Palmdale upper 80s, Anaheim 91. It was a hot day in many spots. Malibu still hanging on to 70 degrees right now. Big Bear 46. Cool stuff for you, of course, this evening. 67 in Ojai, 74 Santa Clarita, 75 Van Nuys. Let's head up north. Fraser Park 63. If anybody's going to get any rain this weekend, maybe a sprinkle or light shower in Fraser Park later on Sunday. But the chances for rain are pretty low. High pressure was keeping us very warm, but look at where it is now, way off to the east of us. So we start turning our attention to what is west of us and moving in. There is a warm front here that is lifting to the north. This is a cold front that's going to be moving in, and that's going to be affecting our weather. Attached to that is a low-pressure system, or I should say the front's really attached to the low-pressure system, and that's going to be moving through for tomorrow and for Sunday. And here's how it affects our weather. I bring you through on the clock Saturday and until Saturday afternoon. There's the front. Look how it's strapped across the northern portion of the state. Rain for that area, but it's going to wash out over us on Saturday. No rain, but by Sunday, with cooler air and northwesterly winds flowing in, maybe a sprinkle in the north-facing slopes for some of the northern counties, and that's about it. And otherwise, it's going to be cloudy and much cooler. High pressure builds in after that. All right, by noontime tomorrow, you're at 74 degrees, much cooler temperatures. That 7-day forecast for LA Metro and Orange County shows it gets even cooler on Sunday. 75 will be your high, with lows in the upper 50s, a chill in the air. Monday, 76, and then that high pressure really starts kicking in Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, where we start seeing those mid-80s back into play. Valleys, IE, you're at 78 tomorrow, dropping a few degrees on Sunday. Plenty of clouds to go around, especially for the morning time, and on Sunday especially. And the mountains, breezy. The winds are going to kick up for the weekend. Coastal slopes may see some cloud cover, maybe a sprinkle in the north-facing slopes, and in the high desert, breezy as well. Temperatures dipping down to 71 by Sunday, and a gradual warm-up after that. Have a great weekend, everybody. That's it for me. Have a great night.
We will, Jonathan. Thank you. Game 3 of the World Series just wrapped up, and it was the Royals coming out with a 3-2 win over the Giants. They now lead the best-of-7 series, 2-1. We'll have full highlights at Eyewitness News at 11 o'clock on KABC. 20th ranked USC is looking for a second road win over a ranked team in 3 weeks. Standing in their way, 19th ranked Utah, off to their best start since 2010 when they started the season 8-0. The Trojans will need another great performance from quarterback Cody Kessler. He threw for a school record 7 touchdowns on Saturday's win over Colorado. The Utes are no slouch. They lead the nation with 33 sacks and has 7 picks in the last 4 games.
They're a great defense. I've already watched the UCLA game, and they got more than 10 times. Sacked them 10 times, got to them more than that. But they do a great job of that. They do a really good job of hiding pressures when they bring them. They disguise their blitzes so well that it's really hard.
The man who turned the Tampa Bay Rays from a laughingstock to a contender has opted out of his contract. Joe Madden is available to manage any team this coming season, and there should be plenty of clubs interested in hiring him. The 60-year-old Madden's departure from Tampa comes exactly 1 week after the team's general manager, Andrew Friedman, joined the Dodgers as president of baseball operations. Madden's availability sent the rumor mill into high gear this morning. Could the Dodgers be at the top of the list since his good friend Friedman is now in charge at the Ravine? And here's what Friedman told us 1 week ago.
And Mattingly will be back. He definitely will be. He's got the mindset of always trying to improve, always trying to get better, and so do I. I think if you ever feel like you have all the answers in this game, you're in trouble. It's a very humbling game, and so my mindset is always to try to learn something new every day, to challenge myself, and that's Donnie's as well, and so I look forward to us working together on that.
So let's go back to last night's Broncos-Chargers game. Chris Harris Jr. picks off Phillip Rivers in the third quarter, and around the same time he got a text from his wife, Leah, and it said, "Woo-hoo, a pick for Aria." They were expecting their first child, Aria, within hours. Her labor would be induced overnight. After the game, Denver won, and Harris grabbed his things, rushed off to the hospital. The couple is expecting that baby any time now.
Aww. Well, a big teddy bear can be just what the doctor ordered for a sick child, and now there's a giant one outside Children's Hospital to help brighten the spirits of kids there. Eyewitness News reporter Leah Stallworth shares a special story of Max the bear.
What child does not love a teddy bear? Max the teddy bear is a hit with patients and their families at Children's Hospital LA.
I love him. I think he's great for the hospital, for the kids.
I think it just brings a great smile to them, especially in maybe a scary situation for both the child and for the families. I think it will bring comfort to them.
Meaning is a teddy bear to hug the children.
The new 7-foot, 4-inch, 600-pound teddy bear was created exclusively for the hospital by world-renowned Mexican sculptor Jose Sacal. Today, the hospital had a special dedication ceremony welcoming the bear.
This is the perfect home for this sculpture, and this is the perfect site and place, and to be with the children.
Children's Hospital board members Dr. Richard Zapata and his wife Rebecca spearheaded the effort to get the artist to create Max.
The bear is to represent happiness for the children, and knowing that Children's Hospital is doing a wonderful job, how could you not want to help?
When the child go inside, very sad.
On the other side of him, as children leave the hospital, when they look at Max, he's a happy bear.
You leave, he's happy if you notice the bear. And that's what we want to do, is leave happiness for the children.
The teddy bear was named after one of the hospital's patients, Max Hernandez, who they say after treatment is doing well now. That makes Max the teddy bear very happy.
I've been in this business for 40 years, and I've run several hospitals in my career. But when you come to this hospital, you begin to learn that you need to lead from your heart.
At Children's Hospital LA, Leo Stallworth, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
And more news straight ahead here at 8:30 and ahead tonight on Eyewitness News at 11 on ABC7. An 88-year-old man is viciously assaulted, and it is all caught on tape tonight, the search for his attackers. Plus, it is a local version of Shark Tank, an exclusive look at the top young entrepreneurs in the world pitching the products of the future. These stories and all the late-breaking news on Southern California's #1 late newscast, Eyewitness News at 11 on ABC7.
Quite a sight in Huntington Beach today. Students got to watch as 2,500 ping pong balls were dropped from the top of a fire truck ladder. It was part of the fundraising effort for the PTA of Newland Elementary School. People paid $10 for one of the balls, and if their ball landed in a cup on the ground, they won $1,000. The PTA raised about $25,000 from the event, and the students had a great time. And by the way, one of our eyewitnesses snapped a photo of our news team at the ball drop today, so we'd like to thank eyewitness Stacy and Christian for posting this on Twitter. And you too can see your pictures on TV. If you do like Stacy, post the hashtag ABC7 Eyewitness.
That is great.
Cute.
And that is our report for tonight. Thank you so much for joining us for Eyewitness News at 8:30 on LA56. Law & Order SVU is next here on LA56.
And Eyewitness News continues at 11 p.m. on ABC7 and anytime on ABC7.com. Have a great night.